So good morning again to the Get to the Point Tech series. This is the point where we have everything set up with the Azure AD for Talasoft.com, which is an on-premise system. We have them set up with hybrid configuration wizard. Everything is good to go. We've tested that. We are ready to migrate users to the cloud. So we're going to pick our user Annie Platt and we are going to migrate her into Office 365. So the first thing we're going to do here, however, in our main 365 console is we are going to grab her, as you can see, listing, and we are going to give her a license to use Office 365 E3. And that is now saved. As you can see now, it will go and create a mailbox for her and create everything. Now, it does only create what we call a stub entry because we obviously don't want her to have all of her mail into the cloud and be done, because obviously we want to keep her on premise for now. Her mailbox is completely on premise right now. We haven't done anything destructive to her whatsoever. However, what we do need to do now is we need to go to the Exchange Admin Center, which I have open here. And we can say migration, and we can now have no migration jobs running. We are going to say migrate to Exchange Online, and all we need to do here is go and grab her account. We're going to say remote move, which is the standard one we're going to do. By all means, go through it, look at these items and see what you think, but we need to just do a remote move migration. Now we can add a CSV file with all the users in. This is a single user migration for this particular batch. We're just going to hit plus and we're going to find Annie and we are going to migrate her. So there she is. Double click Annie. She becomes the only one in the batch. Hit next. It's going to use the proxy server we've set up. We'll go through and find her. And we're going to give her a name. I'm going to call this migration batch 1. Annie is a friendly name. Leave the target delivery domain alone. Move the primary mailbox. Now, bad item limit and large item limit. These, if you put them too low, they may find bad items, and large items they may fail. I normally put 100. You can go up to 1,000, 10,000. Whichever you like. If you have issues with migrating people, 100 is a good rule of thumb to start with. Now we get to choose who we want to tell when this is all done. We're going to say tally admin is going to be our person we want to have on here. We want to automatically start the batch. We're going to start that now, but we want to manually complete the batch. And this means that automatically starting it will migrate her up to 95%, and then we can manually complete it when we want to do the rollover. We can set a timing to say we want to roll her over at 11 p.m. when she's not working, hopefully. And this particular case, we're going to manually complete her and just say new. And this will pick up all the details it needs, put her as a migration batch, and will automatically start that sync process for her to get her over there. So we're now saved successfully, and that will show us migration batch 1 Annie syncing. Now, the trick is with this is that it's not going to happen immediately. You're going to have to go away and come back and let it do its thing. So I'm going to pause this now and come back and see what progress Annie has a little later on. Maybe in 20 minutes to half an hour's time, we might start seeing some action on this one. So about half an hour into this, we can now have a look at this batch. And the way to check out the batch is we just click on it once here, and you can see it doesn't look like anything's happening. But if we have a look at view details, you'll find that even though she's got 00, she does have some data movement here. And this is important because it means that things are starting to work. So essentially, once again, we just leave it and we'll come back to it and check on it again soon. Okay, so refreshing this screen has showed us really what we wanted to see, which was now that we have one user synced out of this batch. So I'm going to click on View Details, and we'll be able to see the items that have been synced, any skipped, and the data that's been transferred across. So everything looks good from that point of view. So because we said that we wanted to manually complete the batch, we now get this item here, which is called complete this migration batch. Now this will affect the user. It's going to remove their effectively their mail account off their on-premise server and move it to the cloud. They will notice some things in terms of their mobile device and their on-premise workstation, which is why we would normally do it after hours. However, in this demo situation, clearly we can just go ahead and do this. So I'm going to say complete this migration batch and say yes, and that will then trigger it into that last completion, that last 5% stage that we're interested in. And you can see now that's changed to completing. So once that says completed, we'll come back and see what it does to the user account. You'll notice here on the WS1 for the account, it currently says connected to Exchange down here. That is going to drop away. That is going to say disconnected at some point. So the users do need to know that they are being migrated and what happens along this whole path, that they will be disconnected at that point. So we'll jump back to the other screen and we'll see that and come back to that when it sits in a completed stage. So another refresh on that has shown us that we have a completed stage now. And if we look here, we have completed, and looking at the view details, we can see that indeed that is completed as well, which is good. So let's have a quick look at the workstation. And once again, apologize, that's my postfix boxes, they do that. And we are ready to go with Annie. So what we need to do with her is we're just going to close her down, and we are going to start up Outlook again for her. Where are we? And we should see once it comes in and processes. Now we have a focused inbox, which is certainly a good sign. It means that we're starting to work. Now let's have a look at view, because focused inbox I would like to turn off. However, if we go down to here and we control right click on her Outlook and look at the connection status, we can see that her mailbox is now on Office 365, as you can see there. Now what I'm interested in doing is sending an email from the outside world and seeing if it passes through all these connectors okay. So our last check to make sure this is working is we can look at the mailboxes on the on-premise system, and if we refresh that, you'll see that this user now shows up as being a 365 user. Now what's interesting here is that if I go into this one and look at my email address, I will see there's an extra item hiding down the bottom here to say that she has a remote routing address with this living there. Now that means that any mail that hits that mailbox is going to be automatically forwarded across to here. So it means that what I can do is I can just bring up and send an email to her. Testing. What do we like? And what should happen is when I go back to my workstation here, it will go through the MX connector, obviously, to the inbound server. It'll hit the on-premise system. It will then bounce out and hit the queues to go outbound into the mail.onmicrosoft.com routing address, and then show up inside this mailbox there, and there we go. So it means that it's working nicely. Now what we can also do is just drop this down, and we can go into a web browser and make that slightly bigger. Let's now log into portal.office.com, and we can log in as our user. Like so, they will get the normal Office screen with all the applications they have, OneDrive and the like that we've given them, and we can hit Outlook and they will see Outlook on the web as well. First time they're going to obviously get to put that in, so we'll pick a time zone and there is their mail, including clearly the one that they had from myself just now. So really we have a user that's now fully migrated across to Office 365. So thanks for watching. See you later.